Welcome back, guys, to We Talk Boxing. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my pre-fight breakdown between Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith, which will be taking place on the 21st of January this year. Now, before I continue with this video, please like and subscribe for more boxing related content and help us grow this channel even further. So this fight will see both fighters go into the fight with good boxing records, such as Liam Smith. You know what I mean? He's currently 32 wins in 36 bouts, with 19 KOs to his name and 3 losses. Those losses came to the likes of Jamie Munguia in 2018, which was a unanimous decision loss. And then, you know what I mean, a Magnus Kubanov in 2021, which was a unanimous decision loss as well. Probably butchered his name there, sorry about that. And also Canelo Alvarez as well in 2016, which was a KO loss, a TKO loss. And he's had a draw in his record as well, which was back in 2010. It was quite early in his career as well. So, you know what I mean, that was like a 4th or 6th round fight or something like that. But, you know what I mean, Chris Eubank Jr., you know what I mean, he's currently 32 wins in 34 bouts with 23 KOs to his name and only 2 losses as well. Now, you know what I mean, his losses have came to the hands of 2 British fighters. Obviously, we know both of them very well. Billy Joe Saunders in 2014, which was a split decision loss, you know what I mean? And obviously, Eubank still, you know what I mean, has some sort of grudges with that as well, saying that it was a close fight and that potentially shouldn't have lost, etc., etc. And he also lost as well to George Groves in 2018, which was a unanimous decision loss, and that was in, I think it was the Muhammad Ali Trophy, I think, as well. Was it? No, George Groves didn't go on to win. I think it was Smith. I think it was Callum Smith, something like that. But anyway, you know what I mean, there are, you know what I mean, Eubank Jr.'s 2 losses to date. Now, you know what I mean, when looking at both of these guys, you know what I mean, seeing exactly where they're ranked, you've got Liam Smith, you know what I mean, he's currently ranked quite highly in the 154-pound division. He's ranked number 2 with the WBO, number 6 with the IBF, number 3 with the WBC, number 4 with the WBA, and number 7 in the Ring Magazine rankings as well. So he's ranked very highly in the 154-pound division. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr. is ranked highly in the 160-pound division. He is currently ranked number 2 with the WBC, number 5 with the WBA, number 2 with the WBO, and number 6 in the Ring Magazine. You know what I mean? So again, he's ranked highly. You know what I mean? Again, for himself, realistically, he was meant to have that fight, obviously, with Conor Benn last year, but obviously that fell apart. And I'm guessing after this fight, depending if he wins, etc., then he will potentially be looking for some sort of, you know what I mean, title shot in that 160-pound division. He's obviously called out the likes of Canelo and obviously Golovkin back in the days and that as well. So it'd be good to see if he could potentially try and get one of those fights as well. I doubt he'll get the Alvarez fight, but the Triple G fight looks more likely in my eyes, really. Now, the physical stats between both guys, you know what I mean, Liam Smith is currently the older man by 1 year, you know what I mean, he's 34 years of age, whilst Eubank is 33. Smith is the shorter man though, he's 5'9" compared to Eubanks, who is 5'11". And you know what I mean, and the stats also reveal that Eubank Jr. is the bigger puncher with a 72% KO rating, compared to obviously Smith's 59. And finally, both guys started their career a few years apart. Obviously, Smith started his back in 2008, whilst Eubank started his in 2012. Therefore, you know what I mean, Smith's had a little bit more professional bouts. He's had 36 and 228 rounds. Whilst Eubank Jr., you know what I mean, he's had 34 bouts with 213 rounds to his name. So, when comparing the caliber of opposition that both guys have faced to date, you know what I mean, it's a high quality opposition that both guys have been in there with, you know what I mean? And you've got the likes of, you know what I mean, Liam Smith. He shared the rings with people like Canelo Alvarez, Liam Williams twice, Jamie Munguia, Sam Eggington, Magnus Kubanov, who butchered his name earlier, probably butchered it again, Anthony Fowler, and Jesse Vargas as well. Whilst Eubank Jr., on the other hand, you know what I mean, he's been in the ring as well with some good names to his record as well. So he's been in there with, obviously, as I mentioned, Billy Joe Saunders, Dimitri Chudinov, butchered that as well. Gary O'Sullivan, Nick Blackwell, Arthur Abraham. I went to that fight. That was a good fight. Avin Yildirim, George Groves, James DeGale, and Liam Williams. So as I've just mentioned, I mean, both of these guys have shared the rings with, a common opponent in Liam Smith. You know what I mean? Liam Williams, sorry about that. Obviously, Smith fought him twice in 2017. The first was in April, you know what I mean, where Smith won by referee stoppage in 9 rounds. And then the second fight, you know what I mean, was in November that same year, where Smith won, you know what I mean, in a 12-round decision as well, majority decision victory. And again, you know what I mean, Eubank Jr., he's recently fought Liam Williams, which was last year. And obviously he beat him in the 12-round unanimous decision. However, he knocked him down 4 times in that fight. He knocked him down in the first, the second, the fourth, and the 11th round. But he just didn't have enough, you know what I mean, to get Williams out the ring. But in my eyes, I'd probably say that, yes, Smith fought him twice, you know what I mean, in the same year. And the reason why he fought him twice, because the first fight was very controversial, you know what I mean. And even though he got stopped and stuff, you know what I mean, like, Williams thought that, you know what I mean, he was having the more success, etc., etc., and that's why they went at it again in the November that year. But for me, I'd probably say that, you know what I mean, Eubank Jr.'s probably handled him the best out of both guys, really. Obviously, knocked him down 4 times and potentially, realistically, should have got him out there, but he just didn't have enough, you know what I mean, in left in the tank to kind of get Smith out of the ring, really. Now, both guys, you know what I mean, have been fairly active in the recent years as well. And, you know what I mean, like, having a look at some of the interviews that they've done, etc., both guys, you know what I mean, they seem fit, motivated, confident in victory against one another, which is good to see, really, because I'm hoping, and what I feel as if this is going to be a good fight to kind of open up the year as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. But I do feel that it's going to be a closely fought fight, you know what I mean, in the earlier rounds. And I see both guys, you know what I mean, having plenty of success, against each other, you know what I mean, in the earlier rounds. But I feel that, you know what I mean, after about maybe round 4 onwards, I feel as if it's going to be the fighter who pretty much wants the fight the most, the fighter with the most desire, the most heart, and the most determination, who will then take charge of the fight and pretty much dominate from round 4 onwards. But I do feel that Eubanks Jr., his jab, you know what I mean, and his uppercut are going to play a vital role in this fight. Do you know what I mean? Especially if Eubank Jr., you know what I mean, if you could find that distance early in the fight, you know what I mean, and whip some of them uppercuts, you know what I mean, and land them on Smith, then, you know what I mean, it could be, he could potentially, you know what I mean, get a few knockdowns within the earlier part of the fight. Because we all know that Smith, you know what I mean, he likes to, you know what I mean, fight at close range sometimes, put his head against his opponent's chest, etc. So that'd be a brilliant shot for, you know what I mean, Eubank Jr. to kind of try and land. You know what I mean, could probably even, you know what I mean, throw like a fake hook to the body or something and just whip that uppercut straight up, straight down the middle. You know what I mean? But Smith, on the other hand, you know what I mean, I do feel as if he's probably the better all-round boxer. And I feel as if his work rate is constant pressure. Do you know what I mean? It could affect, you know what I mean, Eubank Jr. Do you know what I mean? And he's got good punch combinations as well. So potentially, you know what I mean, those, as I've just mentioned, could potentially cause Eubank Jr. a little bit of problems in the early rounds because, you know what I mean, Eubank, he does like to throw a lot of singles or sometimes twos, but he doesn't really back them up with loads of combinations. And he doesn't really like to pressure. He doesn't really like to put the pressure on his opponent. He just kind of likes to kind of wear them down, sort of thing. It's kind of weird, really. But yeah, I am looking forward to this fight. And I also see Eubank Jr., you know what I mean, starting, you know what I mean, most rounds on top, but then fading towards the end of the rounds because, you know what I mean, as I said a minute ago, Smith's work rate, his pressure, his tenacity will potentially be too much for him, and the rounds could be very hard to score. Do you know what I mean, for the judges? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens if this fight does go to the scorecards, which brings me now to my prediction. So I feel this fight is going to go the distance, and I think it's going to be decided on points. And I'm going to say that Eubank will probably win on points, or this fight will potentially end a draw. You know what I mean? Giving us a little bit controversy, you know what I mean, for the first fight in 2023. But anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you see this fight going, and who do you think wins, and by what method? Stoppage, KO, or points? So as always, guys, please subscribe, like, and comment for more boxing related content. Bless.